You are a child of the ruins. This is the only truth you have ever known. Your world is a graveyard of giants. Their metal bones jut from the ash and dust. They claw at a sky that never answers. You move through this silent city of ghosts. Your feet know the paths of least resistance. You avoid the groaning steel and the shifting foundations. Survival is a quiet, lonely dance. You are its only student. Your home is the belly of a fallen transport. Its breached hull offers shelter from the caustic winds. Your treasures are scavenged tech and filtered water. Each day is a hunt for one more piece to survive. Today, the hunt feels different. The air is still, too still. The dust hangs thick and motionless. It muffles the sound of your own breathing. You feel an ancient watchfulness in the silence. You climb a mountain of shattered armor plating. Your fingers grip the cold, pitted metal. Every handhold is a story of forgotten fire. Every scar on the steel is a word you cannot read. The history of your people is written in ruin. At the summit, you see it. It is not like the other wreckage. It isn't shattered or burned or rusted. It is a smooth, black obelisk, small enough to hold. It rests in a crater of fused glass. It hums. You feel the vibration through your boots. The sound is impossibly low and clean. It cuts through the dead silence of the world. It is a song of life in a place of death. Caution is your oldest friend. But curiosity is a powerful hunger. You slide down the crater's edge. The black glass crunches under your weight. The humming grows louder, resonating in your bones. It feels like a greeting. You reach for the object. Its surface is cool and seamless. There are no buttons, no switches, just elegant lines etched into its obsidian skin. They pulse with a soft, internal light. You have never seen anything so perfect or so out of place. This thing did not die here. You lift the device. It is heavier than it looks. The hum intensifies, becoming a warm thrum in your palm. The light within swirls, shifting from white to blue. You hold a whisper from another time, a time before the ash fell. This is not a tool. It is not a weapon. It feels like a key. You have found countless broken things. You have found pieces of machines you could not name. But this is the first whole thing you have ever held. A strange feeling washes over you. It is not fear or excitement. It is a sense of purpose. As if your entire life, this lonely dance of survival, was a path leading to this single moment, to this impossible artifact, humming in your hand. You know you cannot leave it here. It does not belong to the dead. It belongs to the living. And right now, you are the only one around. That's a promotion, you suppose. From scavenger to artifact keeper. The pay is probably the same. You secure the device in your pack. The thrumming against your back is a constant reminder. You are no longer just a survivor. You are the keeper of a mystery, and you will follow it to its end. The journey back to your shelter is different. The ruins seem to watch you with new eyes. The shadows feel deeper, more intent. Or maybe it is just you. Maybe holding a piece of the past changes how you see the present. The silence no longer feels empty. It feels full of secrets. Back in the metal belly of your transport home, the familiar space feels alien now. The flickering glow of your salvage lamp seems dim. It cannot compete with the mystery in your pack. The humming fills the cramped space. You place the artifact on your workbench. It is a slab of polished junk among rusted gears. The contrast is stark. The past and the present, side by side. One is broken, the other is waiting. For hours, you do nothing but watch it. The light inside swirls like a captured galaxy. You run your fingers over the etched lines. They are not random patterns. They are a language of geometry, a map without a legend. How do you open a box with no seam? How do you turn on a machine with no switch? You try tapping it. You try talking to it. You even try telling it a bad joke. The device remains stubbornly, beautifully silent, except for that hum. Frustration begins to build. You have found the ultimate prize, and you are too primitive to understand it. You are a caveman staring at a fusion core. It is the story of your life, really. Great finds, no user manual. You think back to the moment you found it. The crater of fused glass. The heat. The impact. What triggered it then? You were not touching it. The world was just still, silent. You close your eyes. You slow your breathing. You try to replicate that profound silence. You push away the noise of your own thoughts. You listen, not with your ears, but with your whole being. The way you listen for shifting metal in the ruins. The hum changes. It deepens into a resonant tone. The light within the artifact brightens. The lines on its surface begin to glow fiercely. They project light into the dusty air. Your shelter becomes a planetarium. You are floating in a sea of stars. Tiny points of light drift around you. They are not random. They form constellations you have never seen. This is not the sky you know. This is the sky of your ancestors. Your heart pounds in your chest. This is more than a map. It is a history, a record of a home you never had. You reach out, your fingers passing through the light. The star stuff feels like cool smoke. One point of light burns brighter than all the rest. It is a fierce, defiant blue. It is not a star. It is too focused, too deliberate. A single line of light extends from it. It points across the phantom galaxy. It points directly at you. A voice echoes in your mind. It is not sound. It is pure thought, ancient and powerful. It speaks a language of feeling, of loss and hope. It shows you images, a fleet of silver ships fleeing a storm of fire, a world of green and blue turning to black and gray. The message is clear, a final command from a lost generation. Follow the light, the last beacon, the final sanctuary. Your ancestors did not all perish. They ran. And they left a trail for someone to find. You are that someone. The scavenger, the child of ash. The weight of this revelation is immense. It threatens to crush you. Generations of hope now rest in your hands, on your shoulders. No pressure then. The projection fades. The device returns to its gentle internal glow. But the image is burned into your mind. The map, the beacon, the last hope of a scattered people. You know what you must do. You are no longer a scavenger. You are a pilgrim. Your journey has a destination. You must find a ship, not a fallen, broken hulk. A ship that can fly. A ship that can carry you to that impossible light. Your world is a shipyard, a broken one, but a shipyard nonetheless. The giants sleeping in the dust are warships, cruisers, destroyed. Their names are ghosts on their corroded hulls. Victory, defiance, hope's end. You need to build a vessel from their remains, a ghost ship to carry you across the void. The idea is insane. It is a task for an army of engineers. You are one person with a plasma cutter and a lot of grit. The odds are, frankly, hilarious. You start with a blueprint in your mind. The artifact showed you the destination. It did not provide a vehicle. You need something small, something fast, something you can pilot alone. A scout ship, a fighter. Your search takes you to the old naval yard. Here the Titans lie in rows, like coffins. You move between them, your light dancing on their hulls. You are looking for a specific kind of corpse. one with bones strong enough to steal. You find her in the shadow of a carrier, a Fury-class interceptor. She is smaller than the others. Her needle nose is buried in the ash. Her wings are clipped, but her core structure seems intact. Her name is barely visible, the Vagabond. It seems appropriate. For weeks, the Vagabond becomes your world. You work from dawn until the last light fails. You are a surgeon performing a transplant on a metal god. You need a power core, a life support system, a navigation computer. The power core comes from a dreadnought. You cut through its armored heart for 3 days. You drag the 50-kilogram sphere back to your ship. It is a miniature sun, dormant and cold. Waking it up will be a problem for future you. Life support is a nightmare. You salvage components from 3 different ships. A medical frigate gives you an oxygen scrubber. A troop transport offers up its water recycler. You wire them together with salvaged cables and prayer. A lot of prayer. The cockpit is your greatest challenge. The instruments are dead. The screens are shattered. You need a new brain for the machine. You remember a command bridge on a ruined cruiser. Its consoles were shielded, maybe intact. The cruiser is a treacherous climb. Its spine is broken. Its decks tilted at a deadly angle. One misstep means a long fall into darkness. But you find the bridge. And you find your prize, a tactical console, miraculously preserved. Getting it out is harder than getting in. You rig a system of pulleys and levers. You lower the console deck by deck. It is a slow, agonizing process. The sound of groaning metal is your only companion. As you work, you learn the language of the ships. You see how they were built. You see the pride in their design. These were not just machines. They were homes. They were the hope of a people. And they failed. You piece the Vagabond together. You weld plates over holes in her hull. You splice wires until your fingers are raw. You are not just building a ship. You are resurrecting a ghost. You are giving a fallen warrior one last flight. Finally, the day comes. The systems are integrated. The patches are sealed. The power core is installed. The Vagabond sits in her makeshift cradle. She's a patchwork of a dozen different ships. She is ugly. She is beautiful. She is yours. You stand before her, covered in grease and grime. You have given this vessel your sweat, your blood, your unwavering focus. You have built a key to escape your prison. Now, you just have to turn it and hope it does not explode. The ship has a body. Now it needs a soul. You turn your attention to the command console. The brain you salvaged from the cruiser. It needs power, and it might hold more than just star charts. You reroute a trickle of energy from your camp's generator. It is barely enough to wake the dead. The console flickers. Ancient symbols glow an angry red. Access denied. Emergency power only. Well, this is an emergency. You are trying to escape a planet-sized tomb. You bypass the security protocols. Your years of tinkering with dead tech serve you well. You are a master of digital grave robbing. The console surrenders its secrets. It grants you access. System logs, tactical archives, crew manifests. You search for star charts first. You need to align the Vagabond's navigation. You need to know which way is up. The console shows you the Vega system as it was. A vibrant, populated space. 9 planets, dozens of moons, billions of souls. Your fingers trace the old shipping lanes, the trade routes, the patrol sectors. This was a living, breathing civilization, not the silent ruin you have always known. A pang of loss hits you, a grief for a world you never got to see. Then you find it. A locked folder deep in the archives. It is labeled with a single, stark warning. Eyes only. Fleet command. Your curiosity, as always, wins. You break the encryption. The file opens. It is a ship's log. The final log of the battlecruiser, Valorous. The date stamp is from centuries ago, just before the silence fell. You read the entries. The words of a long-dead captain paint a terrifying picture. The first entry is routine, a sensor anomaly at the edge of the system, an object moving impossibly fast. No energy signature, no communication, just a sliver of darkness against the stars. The next entry is frantic. The anomaly is multiplying. One shadow becomes 3. 3 become a dozen. They are not ships. They are described as geometric horrors, perfect shapes that absorb the light. They move in perfect, chilling unison. The captain calls them the Silence. It was not their official name. It was what the crew called them, because they never spoke. They never broadcast threats or demands. They just appeared, and they erased whatever they found. The log describes the first engagement. The human fleet moves to intercept. They fire everything they have. Lasers, plasma torpedoes, railguns. The weapons impact the silent shapes and do nothing. The energy just vanishes into them. The Silence returns fire, not with weapons you would recognize. They unleash waves of nothing, a ripple in space that unwrites reality. Ships do not explode. They are deconstructed, atom by atom. They simply cease to be. The captain of the Valorous describes the horror. He watches his fleet dissolve around him. He sees ships blink out of existence. He hears the final, terrified screams of thousands on the comms. Then he hears only static. The final log entry is short, a message of despair, and a warning. They are not conquerors. They are harvesters. They do not want territory or resources. They want extinction. They hunt for the spark of complex life, and they snuff it out. The captain's last words are a plea to anyone who might find this message. Run, hide, forget this place. Forget you were ever human, because the Silence is patient, and it will never, ever stop hunting. The log ends. The console screen goes dark, but the images are seared into your brain. The geometric shapes, the ships turning to dust. You finally have a name for the thing that destroyed your world. The Silence. The artifact you found was not just a map. It was a cry for help, a final, desperate gamble. Your ancestors did not just run. They were hunted, and the hunters are still out there. Now you know what you are flying toward, and what you are flying from. The truth of the past is a heavy burden. It settles on you like another layer of ash. The Silence, an enemy that cannot be fought, an enemy that erases existence itself. The captain's warning echoes in your head. Run, hide. But the artifact in your pack hums a different tune, a song of hope, a map to a sanctuary. Your ancestors ran, yes, but they also planned. They left a path for a survivor to follow. They did not intend for humanity to stay hidden forever. You stand in the cockpit of the Vagabond. The patchwork ship is your ark, your weapon, your tomb, all three at once. The moment of truth has arrived. It is time to see if this ghost can fly, or if it will simply be your coffin. You begin the pre-flight sequence. The checklist is a mix of standard procedure and your own frantic notes. You compiled it from a dozen different ship manuals. Power up the salvaged core. Check life support seals. Pray to any god that might be listening. You flip a switch. A deep rumble shakes the ship. The dreadnought's power core comes to life. Lights flicker across the console. Status indicators shift from red to amber. A few even turn green. That's a good sign. Probably. The console demands a command authorization, a voice print, a retinal scan. You have none of those things. But you do have a plasma torch and a bypass cable. You give the system a very direct form of authorization. It complains, then complies. Main reactor online. A synthesized voice announces. It is calm and professional, a stark contrast to the frantic pounding of your heart. Inertial dampeners at 50%. Life support nominal. You take a breath of the recycled air. It tastes like victory. And ozone. You look at the main screen. It shows the world outside. The familiar gray ruins. The oppressive, dusty sky. You have hated this view your whole life. Now, you are about to leave it behind forever. Your hand hovers over the thruster controls. This is it. The point of no return. You are a scavenger who has never flown, piloting a ship built from scrap to escape a planet killer you just learned about. This is officially the worst plan in history, and the only one you have. You engage the primary thrusters. The vagabond groans in protest. The entire frame shudders. Dust and debris rain down from the ceiling. For a terrifying moment, you think she will tear herself apart. You built a bomb, a very, very large bomb. Then, the shaking smooths out. A powerful force presses you back into your seat. The ship lurches upwards. The ground falls away. You are flying. You are actually flying. A wild laugh escapes your lips. It sounds strange in the quiet cockpit. The ascent is brutal. The vagabond fights against the planet's grip. Alarms blare across the console. Hull integrity warnings, thruster misalignments. You ignore them. You push the engines harder. You have to break free. Through the canopy, you see the sky change. The gray haze thins. It gives way to a deep, bruised purple. Then, the blackness of the void. And the stars. Millions of them. Bright and clear and silent. You have done it. You have broken the chains of gravity. You are in orbit. Below you, your world is a mottled sphere of brown and gray. A dead thing in the darkness. You feel a strange mix of sadness and relief. You are finally free. The ship settles into a stable orbit. The alarms quiet down. The synthesized voice reports, exo-atmospheric insertion complete. All systems returning to nominal. You let out a breath you did not realize you were holding. You are floating in the silent dark. The first human in this sky for centuries. The journey is not over. It has just begun. The map from the artifact glows softly in your pack. The last light of humanity is waiting. And now, the hunt is on. Your newfound freedom is short-lived. The relief of reaching orbit is replaced by a new kind of dread. You are no longer in a graveyard of ships. You are in the graveyard of a fleet. A tomb of heroes, spread across the void. Wreckage surrounds you. The orbital space around your dead world is choked with it. These are the ships that died in the first moments of the attack. They are silent monuments to a battle that was lost before it began. Their hulls are pristine, not burned or shattered. They were simply turned off. You must navigate this field of ghosts. Your small ship, the Vagabond, weaves through the debris. Giant cruisers float silently beside you. Their hangar bays are open to the void. Their navigation lights are dark. You see shapes inside. Fighters still locked in their launch clamps. Ready for a war that ended in minutes. The artifact's map gives you a course. A clear vector out of the system. But the path is not empty. It cuts directly through the densest part of the wreckage. It is a corridor of metal corpses. There is no other way. Going around would take weeks. You do not have that kind of time. You pilot the ship with a gentle hand. The salvage thrusters are twitchy. One wrong move could send you careening into a floating battleship. A collision you would not survive. It would be an ironic end. To survive the fall of a world, only to be done in by its space junk. The silence here is different from the silence on the planet. It is not empty. It is heavy with unspoken stories. You pass a frigate, its escape pods still in their bays. They did not even have time to launch. They did not have time to run. You fly closer to a massive carrier. Its name is still visible. The Indomitable Spirit. A cruel joke now. A gaping hole in its side shows where the silence had touched it. The metal is not bent or melted. It is just gone. A perfect spherical absence. This is a warning. A gallery of failure left behind by the enemy. A message to anyone who might follow. This is what happens when you fight back. This is the price of defiance. You are flying through the evidence of a genocide. The journey feels like it takes years. Every shadow is a threat. Every piece of floating metal is a potential disaster. You rely on your scavenger instincts. You read the flow of the debris field. You anticipate the slow, lazy spin of a dead destroyer. You see personal effects floating in the void. A child's toy drifts past your canopy. A datapad tumbles end over end, its screen dark. These are the last remnants of the people who died here. The small, human pieces of a galactic tragedy. It makes this personal. Before, it was history. A story from a logbook. Now, you are bearing witness. You are the last one to see their sacrifice. It is your duty to remember them, to carry their story with you. You finally clear the main debris field. The path ahead is clearer. The darkness is less cluttered. You have passed through the tomb. You have paid your respects to the fallen. You feel their ghosts at your back, urging you on. Or maybe that's just the rattling life support system. Hard to tell. The Vega system shrinks behind you. The dead star, the dead planet, the dead fleet. It is your entire history, fading to a single point of light. Ahead of you lies the unknown, the sanctuary, and the enemy that waits in the dark. You are in the deep dark now. The comforting, if sad, light of your home star is gone. There is only the endless black, punctured by distant, cold suns. The vagabond glides through the emptiness. Its engines are a low, steady hum. A single lonely sound in an infinite void. The artifact rests beside you in the cockpit. Its gentle blue light is a comfort. It is your compass, your only friend on this journey. You have its map overlaid on your main screen, a glowing line stretching toward a nebula hundreds of light years away. Days turn into a blur of routine. Check the power core, monitor the life support, make sure the patchwork hull is holding. You eat nutrient paste that tastes like despair. You sleep in short, dreamless bursts. The loneliness is a physical presence. You start talking to the ship. You call her Vaggie. You curse her when a system acts up. You praise her when the engines run smooth. It helps to break the silence. She does not talk back, of course. That would be far too convenient. One cycle, as you run a routine diagnostic, an alert flashes. It is not one of your ship's many complaints. This is a passive sensor warning. Something has pinged you. A tight beam energy scan. Quick, almost undetectable. Your blood runs cold. You kill the ship's active systems. You let the vagabond drift. You are a dead piece of metal again. Just another piece of junk floating in the void. It is a trick you learned hiding in the ruins. You scan the space around you. There is nothing. Empty black. No ships. No energy signatures. Nothing on any sensor. Was it a glitch? A phantom signal from your cobbled-together console? You hope so. You really, really hope so. Then you see it. Not with your sensors. With your eyes. A flicker. A brief distortion in the star field behind you. As if a piece of the darkness just moved. It is gone as quickly as it appeared. It's them, the silence. The logbook from the Valorous described this. Ships that absorb light, that move without a trace. An old hunter has stirred. It has picked up your scent, the faint trail of your engine exhaust, your life signs. Fear is a cold knot in your stomach. The stories are real. The hunters are real. And one of them is on your tail. How long has it been following you? Watching you? Waiting for the right moment? You are prey. The last of your kind. Hunted by a cosmic predator. The captain's warning screams in your mind. Run. Hide. But where can you run in the middle of empty space? Where can you hide when the darkness itself is the hunter? The artifact on your console pulses. Its light intensifies. The map on your screen flickers. It highlights a new feature. A dense asteroid field, not far off your current course. It is not on any of the old star charts. It's a place to hide. The artifact is not just a map. It is a guide. It knew this might happen. It is helping you. Your ancestors planned for this. They left you not just a destination, but a path. A dangerous, narrow path to survival. You have a choice. Continue on your course and hope the hunter loses you, or divert to the asteroid field. A place of chaos and collision. A place where you might just stand a chance. It is a gamble. Flying into an asteroid field in your ship is a special kind of foolish. But it is better than waiting to be erased. You change course. The Vagabond's engines fire, pushing you toward the asteroid field. It is a desperate move. You are announcing your presence. You are telling the hunter exactly where you are going. You are turning a chase into a race. The asteroid field looms ahead. It is a swarm of rock and ice. A churning, chaotic mess. Some rocks are the size of your ship. Others are the size of mountains. They tumble and spin in a deadly dance. Navigating this will be a nightmare. You look at your rear scanner. A shape is resolving out of the blackness. It is a perfect tetrahedron. A pyramid of absolute black. It reflects no light. It emits no energy. It is a hole in reality. A scout ship of the silence. It is gaining on you. Fast. You push the Vagabond's engines to their limit. The ship shudders and groans. Alarms scream for your attention. You ignore them all. The only thing that matters is reaching the rocks. You plunge into the asteroid field. The universe becomes a storm of gray and brown. Rocks fly past your canopy. Your proximity alarms become a single, continuous shriek. This is like trying to fly through a landslide. It is a testament to your piloting skills, or your dumb luck. You are no longer just flying. You are dodging, weaving. You spin the ship on its axis to avoid a spinning chunk of iron. You dive under a massive potato-shaped rock. This is not textbook piloting. This is the instinct of a scavenger, applied at 10,000 kilometers per hour. The hunter follows you in. It moves with an unnatural grace. It does not dodge the asteroids. It flows around them. The rocks seem to part before it. It is not fighting the chaos. It is part of it. This is not going to be as easy as you hoped. You are the mouse. It is the hawk. But this maze of rock is your only advantage. You need to use the environment. You need to think like a scavenger again. You need to use the junk to your advantage. You get an idea. A terrible, stupid, brilliant idea. You fly straight towards a massive, spinning asteroid. One of the mountain-sized ones. The hunter follows, its path mirroring yours. It expects you to veer off at the last second. You do not. You fly directly at the rock. The collision alarm is screaming bloody murder. Your console is flashing red. The computer voice is probably saying something very important. You cannot hear it over the sound of your own pulse. At the last possible second, you kill the main engines. You fire your lateral thrusters. The Vagabond skids sideways, like a car on ice. The side of your ship almost scrapes the rock's surface. The maneuver is violent. It throws you against your restraints. The hunter is surprised. Its perfect, flowing path cannot account for such a reckless move. It tries to correct, but it is too close, too fast. It cannot avoid the massive asteroid. There is no sound in the void, but you see it. The perfect black shape slams into the spinning mountain of rock. For a moment, nothing happens. Then a wave of force ripples out. The asteroid fractures. It cracks like an egg. Then it explodes into a billion tiny pieces. The hunter is gone. You do not know if you destroyed it, or if it just disengaged. You do not care. You have survived. You have outsmarted a thing that erases reality. You, the scavenger from a dead world. In your flying pile of junk, you float in the aftermath. A new field of smaller debris surrounds you. The Vagabond is battered. Multiple systems are offline. But she is intact. You are alive. You allow yourself a moment of triumph. You just punched a ghost, and you think you won. You check your sensors. The space around you is clear. The hunter is gone. For now. You have bought yourself time. You restart the main engines. They sputter but catch. You limp out of the asteroid field back on course. The sanctuary awaits. And you have just proven that humanity is not just prey. It can still bite back.